to talk to you for about an hour. And it's weird. It's weird what I do. Somebody asked me once if it takes confidence to... Nobody asked me, but I just want to talk about this. If it takes... It does take confidence to do this. It takes not a general confidence, but a specific kind, you know? There's lots of kinds of confidence. There's personal confidence. I don't have much of that. Personal confidence is like a man wearing white pants. That takes, you know, tremendous confidence and optimism, really. To leave the house in white pants like it's gonna be a great day. There's gonna be no puddles or pizza, nothing. I could never wear white pants because I'll get my period, first of all, I know that. Or diarrhea, more likely. That's really my period. Diarrhea. About once a month, I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go. Better just get home. And don't make any big decisions today. It's true, don't make, if you have diarrhea, don't negotiate. It's a bad bargaining position. If I have diarrhea, you stand between me and the toilet, I'll sell you my house for 10 cents. So that's one kind of confidence. Here's another kind, moral confidence. Moral confidence, that means knowing that you would do the right thing, knowing that you wouldn't do something wrong. Moral confidence. You can have that in your daily life, because a lot of your days are the same. But what if you were in another time? I would love to believe, I feel confident that I would not have had slaves. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have had any. Even if I lived in 17 whatever, in Virginia, and all my neighbors had slaves, I would have been like, you guys are dicks. I can say that, but it's easy to say that now, because you can't get no slaves. You just can't get any. That's why you don't have slaves. It's not because you're better than back then people. It's because they're not available. That's a huge contributing factor. It's not a decision you need to make every day, like you're crying your groceries, but oh, fuck, maybe I should, I don't know, I better not, but geez, it would be easier. Because they're not there. It's not like they have slaves at Home Depot. I mean, they kind of do. But, yeah. There are some forms of kind of slavery. You can get a Russian woman to do whatever you want because her family's hostage. That's one of them. But that's still temporary. I mean, you could adopt like a 12-year-old from Bangladesh and... I mean, really, he'll move into your house and do your laundry and suck your dick, whatever you want. But even he gets to leave when he's 18. Although, who wants them when they're that old? I'm just saying, excuse me. I'm just saying that slavery gets rebranded, but it doesn't really ever totally go away. I mean, it's been part of human history, going way back, slavery. Even the earliest civilizations in Mesopotamia, I don't know if I didn't go to college, I don't know anything. But the earliest images of human life already had the guys going, ugh, and the guy going, ah, fucker. How early did we come up with this? Like from the beginning of human existence, we evolved, through ideas. We were a scared, naked ape, and then we were like, make a fire, it's a good idea. Kill an animal and take his fur, it's a good idea. Plant things and then wait, it's a good idea. But really quickly we came up with, just make them fucking do it. I'm not doing anything. I'm doing nothing. Make them fucking do it. That was like our third thing we did on Earth. So you can have confidence, but you got to be a little, I mean, there's things that people did in history that I wouldn't have done, for sure. Like, I wouldn't have made an Auschwitz. I wouldn't have done that. What am I going to do with an Auschwitz? Yeah, Auschwitz is not one of those where you're like, it was the times, It was a horrible thing, obviously. Auschwitz, horrible. They killed people. They killed children. They killed little children in Auschwitz who could have grown up and moved to Brooklyn and hated black people, and they didn't get to do that. It's terrible. I know. I had a friend who's a comedian in England, and he made a joke about Auschwitz, and he got in a lot of trouble. It was a big shitstorm, and at one point, Auschwitz tweeted about his joke. It's true. It's an Auschwitz with a blue check. So it was like, oh, cool, it's really them, And they tweeted like, that's not funny. Why is the death camp tweeting? Who's running the social accounts at Auschwitz? I got a summer job at Auschwitz. I'm running their Twitter. Moral confidence. There's other ways to boost your moral confidence. Like you can do good things. Or not. You can help people all the time. You can help homeless people. There's a lot of homeless people here. There's a shitload of homeless people here. I mean, not in here. There's none in here. There's zero in here. That's right. They can't come in here. Even with a ticket, they cannot come in here. They're not allowed in the places where we're allowed. That's what we all agree on. Everybody's like, I don't know what to do about the homeless, but they're not coming in here. They're not coming in here. They're outdoor people. They don't have... If you don't have your own indoors, you can't go in other people's indoors. They can't go where we go. There's places where you'll never see a homeless person. Like the airport. There's no homeless people at the airport. You go to the bus station, they're on the bus beside you. But at the airport, they can't even get to it. They can't even get to it. You never seen a homeless person at the airport? You never been at your gate and some guy's like, hey man, I'm trying to get to Tokyo, can you help me out? Just give me an aisle seat, brother. And they're all over the country, everywhere now. I've been on tour, I've seen them everywhere. I was in Phoenix, and it was during the summer, 120 degrees. And homeless people are just standing at the intersection with a sign, and they're just cooking. You can't even tell what race he was before it burnt off. And he's holding a sign that says, help, I'm on fire. But you're in a white BMW, like, I can't, sorry. There's glass here. I can't help because of the glass. And even here you drive by them. In New York, you walk right by them. So in New York, they're right there. They're in your space, they're in your world, and you got to make a choice. Every couple of blocks, you got to make a choice. You going to help or not? You got to keep shooting it. You got to put a limit on it somewhere, because you're not going to help all of them, and you're not going to help any of them, really, with a few bucks. But there's always that, like, there's a homeless guy who lives, he doesn't live anywhere, but, I mean, he's, by definition, he's at large. But he's often seen. He's always on the corner by my house. Same guy, every day. And I walk past him every day on the way to the store. I go to the same store every day. I go to Claire's. I don't know if you know Claire's. It's a jewelry store for children. I go there every day. I buy a handful of scrunchies and I run home. Everything else I buy online. Anyway, when I walk by this homeless guy in the morning, he always goes, "Hey, man, can you help me out?" And I go, "Sure." I give him $5. Then I go to the store. 5 minutes later, I walk by, and he says, "Hey, man, he doesn't remember," which is fine, but I don't want to give him another $5, you know? Because I only have a few million. I don't know why. I don't know why. I clearly should. I don't know what makes me go, You had your $5, young man. What am I going to spoil him? You know what I was thinking about today? I was thinking about Jesus. I was. Today, I was thinking about Jesus. And after I came, I thought, well, I feel sorry for Jesus. That's how I feel. I don't know how much you know about Jesus, but I feel fucking bad for Jesus, man. I do. He had a hard life. I mean, the last day was particularly difficult, but if you look at pictures of him, he had to wear that thong, that fucking just dish rag yanked up his balls. Just, carrying his cross like, fuck, just a rash. Some people say you should live like Jesus. Who can live? He was insane. You can't live like that. He had a weird life. I'm reading about Jesus. I have this book about Jesus. I'm going to share it with you. Okay. This is a book about Jesus. Actually, only this much is about Jesus. Only that, just that part. The rest of it is just the Jews going like, and then we walked for 50 years in the desert, and we only had a little bit of oil. It was difficult. It's fucking verbose. The Julia, just Jews. It just goes on and on. And then Jacob bought a goat, and Abraham lived to be 800. Yeah, I bet he fucking did, too. The Jews in the early chapters are all like 800 years old. And then God was like, I can with these fucking Jews for 800 years. Heart disease starts today. So that's them, and that's Jesus. All this little part is Jesus. And the weird part is it's not all, like, it's all the same story over and over again. They tell the same story about Jesus' life over and over. First Matthew tells it, and then Mark is like, dude, that's not what, you're fucking drunk. Here's what happened. I'll tell you what happened. Hey, Paul, you weren't even here. Shut the fuck up. And I started reading it because I never read it. I was raised Catholic, but they don't encourage you to read the church. They don't. They don't want you to read this. You know, Jews read this shit in Hebrew. And Baptists sit down and they read together. But the Catholics, they want you to come in the building. They want you to come in and they tell you. And you're like, can I read that? And they're like, no, I'll tell you what happened. You know, sorry, put the book down. But it's interesting because when you read the stories, you know, you think of them as lofty, kind of like, but some of them are just basic life in the Jesus life. Okay, here's one. This is when he turned water into wine. This is his first miracle. This is John chapter 2, okay? Okay, and on the third day, there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. And both Jesus was called and his disciples to the wedding. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus saith unto him, they have no wine here. And Jesus saith unto her, Woman, what have I to do with thee? Just life. Mary was a fucking alcoholic. He took her to a wedding, and there's no fucking wine, Jesus. What am I supposed to do here without wine? And he's like, Mom! Don't! Anyway, you know the rest of the story is that Jesus, he's at the wedding, they had no wine. So Jesus went to the guy running the wedding, and he was like, look in the water barrel. Like that, like a close-up magician. Why don't you take a look? Maybe it's not the Red Queen. Go ahead, flip that card over. What do you think? Told him to look in the water barrel, and he looked, and it was wine. He had turned all their water into wine. Everybody rejoiced. Except the guy running the wedding was probably like, we did need some water. It's actually a bigger problem. I have a feeling a lot of his miracles were met with mixed. Like, oh, thanks. That's great, Jesus. Fuck. Like Lazarus. Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. And Jesus comes to town and he says, Lazarus, rise. And Lazarus comes out of the tomb like, and Lazarus' wife is like, are you fucking kidding me right now? But so here's a story though I want to read to you. This story, I've never seen it in a Jesus movie. This story is not in any movies about Jesus. And it's not, I never, until I sat and read this, I never heard this story. Because it's weird. This is the story of Jesus cursing a fig tree. Does anybody by applause know of this story? Okay, that's just enough to make it clear. This is true. I mean, it's not, nothing's true in here. But I'm just kidding. I don't fucking know. What do I know? I wasn't there. I'm just trying to make it clear that I didn't make it up. They did. But anyway, all right, I don't know. Okay, here's the story. This is Mark chapter 11. It's when Mark went broke. Okay. And Jesus entered into Jerusalem, and when he had looked around about and seen all things, and the eventide was come, he went out unto Bethany with the 12. See, Bethany was like a suburb of Jerusalem. So he went in Jerusalem. You know, you see all the shit downtown, but you don't stay downtown. You go to the Marriott by the airport. You know? That's what Bethany was. Okay? And on the morrow, when they come from Bethany, Jesus was hungry. And seeing a fig tree afar off, having leaves, he came to it, if haply he might find anything thereon. But when he came to the tree, he found nothing but leaves, for the time of figs was not yet. And Jesus answered and saith unto the tree, no man shall eat fruit of thee hereafter and forever. And the disciples heard it. And in the morning when they passed by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots and dead. And Peter, calling to remembrance, saith unto him, Master, behold, the fig tree which thou dost cursest has withered away and died. And Jesus answered and saith unto them, have faith in God. What the fuck kind of a Jesus story is that? Hey, Jesus, you killed a tree. That's right, motherfucker. What's the fucking point to this story? What is the moral? But Jesus just killed a tree. He was hungry. He was fucking cranky. He was like, there's no figs. Fuck you, tree. You're fucking dead, you piece of shit. I wanted a fig. You're fucking dead. Watch this. And the tree's like, but the time of figs is not yet. It's just not yet. I need another week. You want fruit out of season? Go to Whole Foods, you fucking Jew. I didn't do anything. You can't act like that, man. You can't act like that. You walk around acting like that, folks will nail you to a cross. That's what they'll do. They will. You gotta fucking cool it, Jesus. He got a little, that's really what happened. Got a little shitty. A little big, He went to Jerusalem. It's a big town for a boy from Galilee. And he didn't just walk into Jerusalem. He walked in and his friends were like, King of the Jews, y'all. King of the motherfucking Jews. The Jews didn't like that. The Jews were like, not my president, whatever, So they nailed him to a cross. This is what they did. And this, the weirdest thing to me about Catholicism and all Christianity is this image. This image is the image of the biggest, most powerful religion, the cleanest religion. And it's a fucking dead guy with nails, just blood. And it's in every polite room in the world. Every nice, quiet place is a fucking Jesus. And the president and his wife, and they wear pearls, and then we always go to look at the fucking, it's just weird. Because it promotes nicely ideas like honor thy mother and thy father. Because they, it's just macabre. But I love it. I love the image. I love it. I was raised Catholic my whole life. I love this image. I stare at it. Every time I go by a church, if it's open, I go in because I want to see their Jesus. They all have a different Jesus. They're a little different. Some of them, he's really suffering. And some of them, he's just like, oh, well. I really got myself in a noodle this time, boy. Sometimes it's just a cross. Like, oh, fuck, where'd he go? Jesus got away. But they're all different. I was in a Korean church, and I saw a Korean Jesus. They had a Korean Jesus with the... Don't get mad. How else would I know? It was just what Korean Jesus. Ooh, whatever. Jesus looks different everywhere. Mostly Jesus has blonde hair and blue eyes, which we know he didn't have, but that's who won everything, so they get to draw him. The truth is Jesus was black, but you don't see that often. Black Jesus. Hey man, get me the fuck down from here. Whatever, all right. But everybody wants Jesus to look like them, so they draw him to look like them. That's why I don't like that he's always skinny. Jesus always rail, just fucking, I've been doing Pilates for months getting ready for this. It's not fair. You never see a fat Jesus. I never one time saw like just a fat Jesus. With like 10 nails in each hand. He might have been fat. We don't know. I'll tell you what Jesus was not, is Korean. There's no Koreans in Jerusalem in the year 1. But I was raised Catholic, and I ended up walking away from that because I didn't like it. You know why? Because they tell you you're going to hell. And they tell little kids that. You're 5 years old in the church with all its majesty and all the buildings and the clothes. They go up to a 5-year-old and they're like, oh, you're going to hell. oh yeah, you're going right to hell. And you're 5, and you're like, what did I do? And the church is like, you know what you did, you piece of shit. And you're going to full hell, too. There's no kids' hell, you understand? You're going right to the show. If you're 5 years old, you steal a crayon from your sister, and then you lie about it, you get hit by a truck, you're roommates with Hitler. There's no difference. There's no difference. They take you in a room, and they're pouring hot lead into Hitler's asshole. He's like, ah! And then you walk in there like, all right, step up, it's your turn. Hitler's like, oh, good luck, little fella. Poor Hitler, man. I mean, at this point, he's been down there for 75 years. He's probably nice now. Hitler's probably nice to newcomers in hell, you know. Hi, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah. What's that? Oh, yeah, okay. I was so scared of hell when I was a kid. I remember when I found out that gay people go to hell, according to the church, and I got scared. Because I'm not gay, but what if God thinks I'm gay? What if I come off a little queer to the Lord? What if he happens to glance at me when I hit my toe and I'm like, ow? He's like, huh, I know where you're going, you faggot. I mean, that's their thing. I don't believe that. God doesn't hate you because you're gay. God made you gay because he hates you. No. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. There's no God. But you know who I feel sorry for? Who I really feel sorry for is a gay man's sperm. Just think about that. That's a tough destiny. Being a sperm inside of a gay man, this is hard luck. Because if you're gay, that's great. But your sperm is not gay. Your sperm is just excited, like, we're next, fellas, here we go. Is that shit right there? Who's shitting this chick's pussy? You know, I was thinking about my life today. I was thinking about like when I grew up, and I was raised in an orphanage about a block from my parents' house. And it's a joke. My father is Mexican, and yes, 6 of you here. My father's Mexican, my mother is dead, so I'm half dead on my mom's side, and I'm half Mexican. A lot of people don't believe I'm Mexican. When I tell them I'm Mexican, they say stupid things. They say things like, how can you look like that? What do you mean, how? Like I'm trying to, like look, I'm not Mexican. No, I'm not Mexican at all. Then I get home like, oh, señor. My parents, they got divorced when I was about 10, and I have kids now, and their parents are divorced also. And I remember when we told our kids about that we were going to divorce. If you get divorced, you should tell your children. So we had to do it carefully because they were 5 and 2 years old at the time. So we had to put it in a way that they could comprehend. So I remember we sat them down and I said, okay, listen, you know how you love your dog? You love your dog. Like sometimes you give your dog food from your plate. You're not supposed to, but you do that because you love your dog. Remember the other day your mom and I were like, don't give the dog any ham, but you did because you love your dog. Okay, so that's why we're getting a divorce. Because you don't listen. And we just can't take it anymore. It's just too hard to not be listened to. So we're gonna move to separate homes and each have you for half the week because neither of us wants to have you all the time anymore. Yeah, and it's very sad because I love your mother very, very much. And she loves me so much. But we hate you more. That's how we handled it. You do your best, you know? That's all you can do with your kids, just do your best. Nobody fucking knows right from wrong. When I was a kid, they just taught us things to try to keep us, just shut the fuck up. Our morals were just shut the fuck up. Things like slow and steady wins the race. They taught us that. Slow and steady wins the race. Really, does it win the race? You know what beats slow and steady? Fast and steady. Kicks the shit out of slow and steady. Slow and steady beats old and retarded. That's about it. Stop telling that to kids. A lot of what they teach kids is just to make them polite people, you know? Like they teach them that there's words you shouldn't use. There's bad words. Don't use the bad words. I can't teach my kids that because I do this for a living. But I didn't want my kids to be, you know, assholes. So I used to tell them, like, okay, look, there's no bad words. There's no bad words. All words are good, bad, nothing. But there's some people that get upset when you use certain words. So if you're going to use those words, look at the person first and try to guess if they're that kind of person. Sometimes you can offend somebody when you weren't even trying to. Like there's certain phrases, certain statements that if you're going to say them, you should say them without stopping in the middle. Certain things, if you're going to say them, don't clear your throat in the middle. Okay? You don't want to say things like, there are too many black people suffering from discrimination. We need to stop the Jews from feeling excluded. I once fucked a baby, and then I fucked him again. So you want to get through that one. Otherwise, people get the wrong idea. They'll think you only fucked that baby once. But it's tricky, you know, if you're trying to teach your kids right from wrong, you got to choose a side often because not everybody agrees on what's right and wrong. So how do you know, Like abortion, some people think it's murder. Some people don't. I think people should get abortions, like a lot, like as many as you can. You should try to get a lot of abortions. You know why? Because it creates jobs. More abortions, more jobs for the doctors and the nurses and the dumpster guy. Everybody gets a job. They have to work. How they going to feed their kids if you don't kill yours? You got to think of everybody. Abortion is a big topic, of course, because Roe v. Wade was overturned. Roe versus Wade. Of course, we all know what this is. This was a court case. Roe was a woman who wanted an abortion, and Wade was the baby, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just assuming. I never found out who Wade was. Wade must have been the baby. Anyway. But now that we don't have that, every state has to come up with their own law based on how people feel. They have to listen to people and see how they feel. I think most Americans feel, on average, the same thing about abortion. They feel like people should be able to get abortions if they need them, but, just keep it down a little bit. That's all. That's just go ahead, but, come on. Do it, but don't be like, woo-hoo-hoo! Like, So we need a law that covers that keeps it available but limits it. Here's what I think we should do. Let's make this the law. You can get an abortion anytime, anywhere, but if you get an abortion, you have to eat it. I think that's fair. Because that'll make you, fuck, I gotta eat it? I better do it soon. Just trying to make everybody happy, Some Catholics believe that contraception is murder. They think if you wear a condom, if you stop a sperm from getting to an egg, you killed a possible baby. By that logic, I could say that any woman that won't fuck me is a murderer. Let me tell you, there's a bunch of murdering bitches out there. Murder is a weird law structure also. That is not a sentence, didn't make any sense. But murder should be simple because it's a binary crime. You kill somebody or you don't. They're alive or they're dead. It's one or the other. But the laws around murder are a little murky. One person can kill somebody, get 100 years. Somebody else gets 20. Why? What's the difference? Here's what they base your sentence on with murder. They base it on how you felt when you murdered them. That's weirdly important. They say, okay, you shot him in the face. But what was up with you, man? Like, what was going on? Like, come on. I think if you murder somebody, your sentence should be based on how old the person was that you murdered. That should matter. How much of their life did you take away? Like, if you see a 3-year-old girl in the park and you just kick her to death, it's a hypothetical. Fucking grow up. It's a hypothetical. I'm not asking you to go do that. I'm just asking you to just really imagine just kicking a 3-year-old till she's dead. If you kill a 3-year-old, you should do a lot of time. You should do a lot of time, unless she's got like diabetes. You got to work it all in. But what if you kill somebody who's like 98? He's 98 and he's like in a hospice. He's not even good 98. He's in a hospice. You know what hospice is? It's like a hospital, but they don't try to help you. And say there's a guy, he's like 98 in a hospice. He's got cancer and AIDS and COVID. And he's like, and they just unplugged him. And right then you walk in. Shoot him right in the face. You should get like 5 minutes for that. I was thinking about that today. I was, because I'm going to see my dad next week. And my dad, let me tell you something, okay? My father is not in a hospice. My dad is in a facility being kept alive. For whose benefit? I don't get it. It's just and they just put food in and just, come on, keep going. Like, what does he have, a secret he hasn't told yet? Because, look, my mom just died. She just died. That's how it works. By the way, for you young people, here's how life goes. One of your parents is gonna die, and the other one is just never gonna fucking die. They just will never fucking die, ever. And guess what? It's not the one you wanted. Nope. It's not the one you wish to have kept. It's not your good parent. Nobody's got two good parents. You have a nice one and a shitty one. And the nice one just dies, because that's what nice people do. I'll just die. I don't want to bother everybody. And the shitty one just hangs in there.
Yes, I'm still here. Another day of this.
Why? What the fuck for the long life? You can live too long, I think. You can live too long. Some people are 100. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody knows you. What are you gonna run into somebody? Hey! Some people are even older. Some people are, you ever read about the oldest person in the world? There's always an oldest person. And sometimes you read about them because the other one just died. That's when they tell you that there's a new oldest person. Last one I read about was 114. 114, he's a teenager after 100. You know what that means? That means he's got a kid who's like 92. Who's like, please fucking die. I'm just hanging around so I can have 1 week without you in it. I mean, here's the bad news. You're gonna die. But here's the good news. When you get closer, you're gonna wanna fucking die. It doesn't keep being good. You don't get to keep your life the way it is. Like, I'm 55. Both hands hurt. Both hands. Both my hips hurt. I'm lucky I have only one asshole. The whole fucking body hurts. When you're like in your 30s, you don't even think about it. You're like, because here's like, there's the beginning of your life, and there's the end. So like, you start like in your like here by your 30s, you just shuffle. You don't even aware of this movement. You're just shuffling along. Hey, this life is good. It's pretty cool. And then somewhere you're kind of aware that way down there, people are falling off the edge. Oh, I don't know. It's weird. And then you're not thinking. Then all of a sudden you're close, and you're oh fuck, I knew that guy. Oh my god. Holy shit. But there's signs that your time is coming to an end, you know? Like they don't make my shampoo anymore. They don't make it. It's like, why'd you stop? Like, you're the only one. Nobody fucking cares about you. And so I thought, I'm gonna make my own. I'm gonna make my own shampoo. I'm gonna look it up online. I'm gonna look at the ingredients. I'm gonna make my own. And I found myself at a dinner telling a table full of people. So I decided to make my own shampoo. That's one of those moments where you tell yourself, just don't tell folks anything. You don't need to say it out loud. Just do what you're doing and die as soon as possible. Do I have a huge stain? Yeah, that's all right. It's all right, so what? Okay. No. Who's running? Oh, okay. I thought they were coming to bring me something. There's nothing you can do. You'd have to change my whole lifestyle for the rest of the show. It doesn't matter. I'm fat. I'm a fat guy. I'm fat. My pronouns are that fat fuck and... But here's the thing, I have body dysmorphia. I think I look good. I like this. I'm fine with it. I decided to stop exercising. That's what I decided this year. I'm just not doing it anymore. I made it to 55. If I stop exercising now, it just means I might make 75 instead of 78. It's not that big a fucking deal. I'm just not gonna do it. You know who inspired me was Trump. It's the one thing he said that I liked. I don't know if you ever heard this, but Trump believes, he just believes, nobody told him this, but he believes that you should move as little as possible because you have a finite amount of movements and then you stop. He believes that. He just went, yeah, that sounds right, and he just thought it up. And he's proving it to be true. I mean, it's fucking working. I don't like the new exercise either. I don't like the Peloton, you know. It's a bike you ride and there's a video that encourages you. And they have that mirror that you stand there and it teaches you exercises. Then they have that gun you put in your mouth and you fucking... No, you shouldn't kill yourself. That's why I think you should not kill yourself. That's my opinion. I don't know you. Ask somebody that knows you. But my general feeling is you shouldn't kill yourself. You know why? Because you're going to die anyway. You're going to die. What are you getting violent for? It's going to happen. I wish I was dead. You will be. Just sit there. You don't have to do anything. It really is the most effective argument against suicide, is that you're going to die either way. It also happens to be the best argument for suicide, which is awkward. Go ahead, you're going to die if you don't. Anyway, a friend of mine sent me a porn the other day. Folks can just send you pornography now. It was a porn, it was two old men, like really old guys, really old. And they were sucking each other's cocks. Like really sucking each other's cocks. They were so old. I was surprised they were doing anything. But there they were. One of them's like sitting on the edge of a bed and his socks have fallen, you know. And the other guy's on his knees on a pillow and he's just fucking blowing the guy. Then they switched places. I watched long enough to see them switch places. And when the second guy was done, I called my friend and said, why'd you send me this? He said, because it's amazing. And it really was, you know? It really was. I've watched it a few times. Because it doesn't turn me on, it's inspiring. Because you're like, go fellas. Because you worry about old guys. You know, you see an old man walking by himself with just a grapefruit in a plastic bag, you know? And you're like, oh shit, that's horrible. Maybe he's going to suck another guy's cock. Life might be better than you think. It's interesting because porn used to be like you go find your thing, you know? But now you go to a porn site, it's everybody's stuff. You can put in a search word to narrow it down, or you can look around. Find new things. I saw a fart porn one time. So fart porn. I never thought I'd be turned on by farts. I'm not interested in farts. Farts are okay. I'm farting right now. I've been farting this whole time. And I didn't want to watch it because it was a fart porn. It was because of the title. The title is what got me. The title was, Nice Girl Farts in Your Face. Who's not going to watch that? Nice girl farts in your face. click on it. And there's this girl standing there. I'm like, she is nice. She's totally nice. Just a nice girl standing there. Pink sweater with little blue buttons on it. And she's looking in the camera and she says, "Hi, I'm so glad to see you." I was like, wow, she made me feel good, you know? And then she turns around like she goes, "I gotta show you something I bought." And she's reaching up and all of a sudden, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, it was in the title, I knew it was gonna happen, but I was like, oh my God. She just farted right in my face. She seemed so nice. But the best part is when her reaction, because I thought she would be like, "That's right, I farted in your face." But she wasn't. She was like, "Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I can't believe that happened." I've never been that hard in my entire life. I was so excited. Because I realized it's not really about the fart. It's about the shame. It's about the sexy shame of a truly nice girl who just thunder farted right in your face, and she regrets it. Here's the worst part. I can't find one that good again. I can't. They're never that good. I've been chasing the dragon on this fart porn for months. It's just always some bored chick. Hello. Like, come on. Tighten it up, would you? A little bit? I have been dating recently. Dating's not fun. Dating's horrible. Nobody wants to date. Even if you meet somebody and you really want to go out with them and they say yes, you're excited in that moment. But the day of the date, you're like, I don't want to fucking do this. I don't want to do this. Every time I'm ringing a doorbell to pick a woman up, I'm like, I hope she's dead in there. I really do. I hope something awful happened. I don't want to sit in a place and breathe unevenly for 3 hours and just sweating where your body is folded and just, You ever have a date that goes well? It's like good from the beginning. You're like, you get a little laugh at the beginning. Hi, ha, ha, something funny, and they both laugh. Feels good. You agree on stuff. When you don't agree, you laugh about it. You're even able to be quiet a little bit while you're eating, and it's nice, feels comfortable. And then you drop them off, and you're like, I hope I see you again. And she says, I hope so too. And you feel like, this is something new in my life. This is wonderful. Then you go home, and your wife is like, where were you all night? You know, and you're just fucking... But I'm older now. I'm divorced, and I still date mostly women who are younger than me recently, because that's who looks better. No, it's true. But I don't like have it. I've always been with women my age or older. I was married to a woman a year older than me for 10 years, and that's always been the way there's some guys that have to be with a younger woman. There's cultures that believe the man should be much older. Like there's religions that have like a formula, like take the man's age and subtract 10, and then whatever else you have to do to get to 12, just solve for 12. But I didn't suddenly get interested in younger women. What happened was I got older and they got interested in me, because younger women like older guys. They just do. This the other part nobody says. I don't do anything to get younger women. I just stand there like this. And they see me and they're like, that would be so weird to fuck that old guy. And then we get blamed. The older guy always gets blamed. You see an older man with a young woman, everybody's like, that guy's a pervert. No, she's a pervert. He's normal. He likes pretty women. She likes that. What the fuck is wrong with her? And they're weird. I was having sex with this woman, and she was about 35, and we're in bed. She starts calling me daddy. I was like, please don't, young lady. Please don't do that. She said, why does it make you uncomfortable when I call you daddy during sex? Is it because you have daughters? I said, no. It makes me uncomfortable because I have a father. And I used to call him daddy when he fucked me. By the way, thanks for laughing at me because I got fucked by my dad. I was not laughing at the time because I was coming. Because he fucked me good. My daddy fucked me so good. It's not his fault. I made him do it. I was such a brat. I was 10. I was like, Daddy, fuck me! Poor guy. He's like, I know I'm spoiling this child, but I can't say no. Thank you very much for coming. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Thank you for coming. Get home safe. Thank you. Good night. For my own entertainment, instead of staying like this, just put it a little bit up here, just so people are like, I don't know why that bothers me. Especially if I'm somewhere I don't like being, like CVS. You know, I hate CVS. But sometimes you gotta go in there. That should be their slogan. CVS. CVS, sometimes you gotta come in here. Or else you gotta get your wart Band-Aids. And that stuff for your dry vagina. Dry vagina. I used to think it was called a vagina. I did because I grew up in Boston. And I don't know if you are familiar with, people call it the Boston accent. It's not an accent. It's a whole city of people saying most words wrong. It's just a stupidity in a massive region. Because my teachers, they teach you to talk like that. I had a teacher named Miss Doherty, but she thought her name was Mrs. Darity. She mispronounced her own name. Miss Darity. And she gave us sex ed. It was 5th grade. We had sex ed with Mrs. Darity, and she's showing us the diagram. She's like, "This is a penis, and this is a vagina. Now, during intercourse, the man ejaculates sperm up into the vagina, and then later, a fucking baby comes out of the vagina. And sometimes it's retarded." This was the 70s. Teachers said retarded in Boston in the 70s. My daughter's retarded. She used to tell us every day. I have a daughter and she's mentally retarded. She's 35 and she lives in my house. She better be fucking retarded. I'm gonna stick her back up in my vagina. So I thought it was called a vagina until I was like 25. And I remember thinking it was like it's a vagina. It's like a thing that vagines, you know? Like you use it to I gotta vagine my driveway. I don't know, like, just gotta vagine this new table I just made. That would make a nice table. Like you make a new table and then you take the 80 grid paper and you sand it, and then 120, and then you go, "All right, honey, get up there," and she just. It's like an old, like one of those Danish tables, or like a, ooh, nice old Italian table. This table is very smooth because my wife have a very juicy boozy, and she vagina the table. And my family, we do this for generations, and we vagina.
It's all right. Good for you. Naughty. All right. My father's Mexican. My mother is dead. So I'm half dead on my father's side. On my mother's side, my father's Mexican. A lot of people don't believe I'm Mexican. And when I tell them I'm Mexican, they say stupid things like, "Well, how can you look like that?" What do you mean, how? Like I'm trying not to look Mexican? Like, no, look, see? I'm not Mexican. Then I get home like,
Señor.
my parents divorced when I was about 10, and now I have 2 kids, and their parents are divorced too, which is interesting. I remember when we got divorced, we told the kids, because you should tell your kids if you're getting divorced. Don't just do it and wait for them to be like, hey, yeah, duh, fucking, you know. You gotta tell them. But so, I remember it's a tricky thing, because they were little, and you gotta tell them in a way that they can get in their life, you know? So I remember we sat the kids down, I said, listen, love is tricky. Like you love your dog, right? You love your dog. You would do anything for your dog. You even give your dog food off your plate when you're not supposed to because you love your dog, right? One time, I remember your mom and I were like, don't give the dog ham, but you did because you love your dog so much. Okay, so that's why we're getting a divorce. Because you don't listen. And we can't take it anymore. It's too difficult. So we're gonna move to separate homes and each have you for half the week because neither of us wants to be with you all the time. And it's very sad because I love your mother very, very much. And she loves me very much. But we hate you more. So that's how we handled it. Just did our best. I remember my father was tough. My dad was tough, Mexican father. I remember one time I was 6 years old, I was crying, and my father said, I'll give you something to cry about. And then he fucked me in the ass. And you know what? He was right. I did cry. And I realized that what I had been crying about was not that important. You know? So, you know, you gotta teach your kids, man. You gotta teach your kids. By the way, I should say to you that that's not true. It's not a true story. I should say that because my dad's still alive. And I was on the subway in New York. This isn't another sex story. This is a traveling story. Are you ready? So I'm on the subway, and I'm standing there. I wasn't holding anything, I just like to stand like this. I'm standing there. I walk around the city like this. Hi. So I'm standing there, and from behind me over here, I hear this. I hear, and I was like, ooh, okay. This is a crazy person. I mean, it's not a big surprise in New York. Then I heard it again. I was like, all right, I want to see the crazy person. Just want to take a look. So I look over, and it's not what I expected. It wasn't a big homeless guy with 2 sets of headphones that don't work or anything like that. It was a young woman. She looked like she was about 21. She's standing there. She's very kind of nice, properly dressed. She was very like Michigan-y or something. Very suburban-y, Michigan-y kind of thing. And she's standing there with a ponytail. And then all of a sudden she starts going like this. She goes, la 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 la. La 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 la. And I realized, oh, she's like a student, like a singing music student. And she's doing her vocal exercises on the subway. And you know what? It wasn't charming or nice. It was arrogant and rude. Because she just had this look like, I'm so cool because I'm studying music in New York City. And I just do my thing right on the subway every day. La 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 la, everybody. La 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 la, tired nurse who just did a 14-hour shift. We live in an interesting time. Moral confidence. The kind of confidence I have is very specific. It's that I know how to make jokes about terrible things. I know how to do that, and I know how to do that. So that's my core competency. And there's certain people that think there are things that you shouldn't make jokes about, like Auschwitz. You shouldn't make jokes about Auschwitz, some people think, because it was terrible. Many people died. Their children were killed in Auschwitz. Children that could have grown up and moved to Brooklyn and hated black people, and they didn't get to do that. Exactly. It's terrible. It's terrible. So some people think you shouldn't joke about Auschwitz. I have a friend, a comedian from England, who made a joke about Auschwitz last year. He got in a lot of trouble. It was a big deal. It was in the newspapers. He lost jobs. And at one point, Auschwitz tweeted about it. It said Auschwitz with a blue check. So it was like, oh, cool, it's really them, you know? And they tweeted like, that's not funny. And I don't know. I mean, who's running the social accounts? Why is the death camp tweeting? Who is it? I got a summer job at Auschwitz. I run the Twitter. Because people have different reactions to terrible things, you know? Some people think comedy helps. I don't think it helps. It doesn't help. It's like, I remember one time, there was people, you remember during the Iraq War, I don't remember which one, but it was one of the Iraq wars. And somebody was organizing through the USO some comedians to go to Walter Reed Medical Center and visit wounded soldiers in their hospital rooms, which is a terrible, it sounds nice, but it's a terrible idea. They don't need a comedian like, hey, where you from? Fuck you. You know, it's not helpful. And I wasn't even anybody. I wasn't famous, but I did. I was like, I'm volunteering. I fucking hate that me so much, you know? But I did it. And I remember we're at the hospital. It's a very serious place. It's an army hospital. And the army doctor is giving us a briefing about the soldier that I'm about to go in and see. He says, this kid's name is Travis. He's from Iowa. He's 20. He was in Baghdad on patrol and somebody threw an IUD. And I mean IED, sorry. It wasn't an IUD. It's not an effective weapon, really. No. That's funnier than the actual joke, unfortunately. But I'll go on. It was an IUD. IED. Fuck. It's an improvised exploding device. You know, it's like a bag of ammonia with Canadian pennies in it. And they strap it to a Nokia flip phone and, you know. That's what happened at Travis. So the doctor says he's been in surgery for 20 hours. He's about to come out of it. You're the first face he's going to see. I was like, can we get his mom to open for me, maybe? This is a bad idea. So I asked the doctor, I said, hey, what do I fucking say to this kid? He says, here's what you don't say. He said, don't say, how you doing? And they tell you that. If you visit a trauma patient, don't say, how you doing? It's stupid. So, okay, I go in there. Travis is laying there. I'm like over his bed. It's obscene. I can't say, how you doing? So I said the only worst thing. I said, what are you going to do now? Anyway, that's what happened with Travis. But You know, people's reaction to terrible things is different depending, like some people, you know, try to, like I saw a store and on the door it said no hate allowed in here. But I love traveling because you see people. I love to see people. I have to watch people in their lives. That's the fun part. I was in Glasgow, Scotland. I saw something I hadn't seen before. It was an old Scottish man with a little boy holding his hand, and they're walking together. Really sweet. Then they get to the train, and the man says goodbye to the little boy. He kisses him on the lips for a long time. I was like, fuck, they do that here? Like, he's like making out with, like, just kissing. And the kid had his hand on the back of the guy's neck. Like, there's just... And I was like, oh no. Then I look closer and I realize, oh, it's not a kid, it's an old lady. It's like a little Scottish old lady with red hair, you know? Then I looked even closer and I realized, oh no, it is a kid. And he looks really old because life is hard there. His dad keeps making out with him. That'll put the miles on your face. I was in Ohio and I went to the zoo. You go to the zoo when you're at another town, right? You don't go to the zoo where you live. It's not like you're at your office. Fuck, I should hit the zoo. Shit. It's gonna close. Damn it. I just really want to see a monkey right now, really bad. It's gonna be a bad night if I don't look at a monkey right in the face. Gonna hit both my kids if I don't see a monkey. So I went to a zoo with my friend in Ohio. We went to see the lion. It's always a shit lion. It's never a good lion. He's never going, rawr. He's just laying on a fake rock, eating lamb from Costco. And my friend said, that's depressing. They should free that lion. It's like, what are you seeing in your mind right now? He said they should take him to Africa. And what, just let him out of the car? Well, hey, good luck, lion. And the lion's like, what the fuck is this shit? Then the African lions find him. They're like, hey, how you doing? Where you from?
New York City. I am a native New Yorker. A lot of my friends that used to live in New York have now left, yeah. They'll ask me stuff. They're like, what is New York like with the pandemic winding down? I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of empty, but there's still nowhere to park. Which is crazy when you think about it, because 43,000 people died from COVID here, so where are all the parking spots? Now, I know what you're going to say. They didn't all drive, but there should be at least 5 extra spots. I shouldn't be circling for hours. I still hit traffic. That's how I know we have not even made a dent in the number of people that need to die in New York City for it to be enjoyable. It's not great. I lived in New York City my whole life. I've never had a good day. People are like, why don't you move? I'm like, where am I going to bring this attitude to? Think I'm going to do well in Oklahoma? Yeah, and if you drive in the city, you can't be a good person. I was driving through the Holland Tunnel the other day. This lady cut me off. I just said out loud, I'm going to smash my car right into her. That's what I thought was a good idea. And then we were coming out. I was able to cut her off, and she got very upset. She told me to go fuck myself, and she had such an angry look on her face, and I remember it because I think about it when I come. Yeah. She had a bumper sticker on her car that said her son graduated from law school. I was like, I should track him down and date him and then just show up on Christmas. Be like, you remember me from the tunnel? You told me to go fuck myself, now I'm fucking your kid. I think what I'm trying to say is I want a gun. No, I can't get a gun. I would use it the first day. So, what I've started doing instead, though, is just fake shooting people. You can fake shoot as many people as you want. There's actually no law against it. I was trying to get off an exit the other day, and this guy was also trying to get off, but he missed the exit, so he's just reversing on the highway. Not worried about killing all of us. Then we just ended up at a red light together. I just put my window down, emptied a whole fucking clip right into his dumb fucking face. Now, if that was a real gun, I would never get to see how mad he got. I don't know. I try not to pay attention to what's going on. People already want to talk about the next election. They're like, I think Trump's going to run again. Who are you going to vote for? I'm like, I am one flat tire away from killing myself. I vote for me not to be here. I don't know. I do love, though, that Hunter Biden is a crackhead. Doesn't it make you feel so much better about yourself? You're like, if the president's son can't stop doing crack, how am I gonna stop? Yeah. He's been doing crack for a long time, which I really respect. What is that saying? If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I don't think his family cares if he stops doing crack or not. I think they're like, hey, can you stop filming yourself while you're doing crack with hookers? A couple of months ago, I was in a restaurant, and Hillary and Bill Clinton were in there, and I asked to take a picture with them, not even because I like them. I just want to make a joke on Instagram about Epstein not killing himself. So we take the picture. And then Bill goes to take a selfie with just me and him, and Hillary goes, she already got her picture. I was like, Hill, it's a little late in the game to be on it. I know. She was so mean to me, it made me very upset that I voted for her. And then I started thinking about what their fights are probably like. At some point, he has to want to shut her up. He's like, well, we're gonna eat dinner where I want to eat tonight because I won the election. Actually, I won twice, and I had to run against real people. How upsetting do you think that is for Bill? If I was Bill, I would have been so embarrassed that I would have hired the same people the Clintons hired to kill everybody else that works for them. Have them just kill Hillary. I don't know. I do want to be rich, though. We all want to be rich. I don't want to be too rich, though. I do want to stop right before it's okay to fuck kids. What if I do it and I love it? No, I don't want to fuck kids. But I also didn't think I'd like caviar, so... Now, I know what you're going to say. Poor people also fuck kids, but there's no party. It's a lot sadder. It's just a guy in a UPS uniform walking over his truck like, man, I can't believe I fucked that kid. This is not good. But, rich people are on their yacht like, man, I can't believe we're fucking these kids. Just high-fiving each other. Like, you worked so hard, Bill, you deserve it. My godchild told his mother, who's my best friend, that he's transgender. And me and her were talking about it, and I was like, well, do you think he's confused? Do you think he is transgender? Or is there a small chance he failed every subject in school this year and doesn't want to get punished this summer? You can't punish a transgender kid. Honestly, if a transgender person murdered your whole family and you were being interviewed by the news, you'd have to be like, I feel so blessed that they would choose to murder my family. I'm so happy they can just be who they are. Look, I do think you should be able to do whatever you want. No, stop. I have to get out of here. Stop. I do think you should be able to do whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. Like if you want to cut your dick off or your tits or get a dick, I think the government should pay for it. If we can pay for the whole Ukrainian war, we could finance a couple of cocks. It does make me think, though, there's got to be just like a lot of loose dicks and tits in a landfill somewhere. And we got to make sure it doesn't get into the ocean. Then all of the turtles are going to choke on all of the cocks. Can you imagine the PSAs for that? Where they're like, please dispose of your cocks properly. The turtles are dying again. Except for that one gay turtle. I don't know. Only 5% of the population is transgender, and they're all in the 8th grade. People are very concerned about it. It's like, hey, it's going to work itself out. They have no idea what being trans is. They think it's just changing their name. Wait till they find out what they really have to change. But my godchild, he was born a boy, identifies as a girl, and is dating someone that was born a girl and identifies as a boy, so they're just a straight couple. So, it's gonna be okay. Personally, I do love transgender women. I think they're very pretty. But that's the thing, like, no matter how pretty your face is and how nice your new pussy is, you're still gonna shit like a dude. There's no surgery for that. Like, Elaine, you shit 8 times today, and most of it's on the wall. Personally, I don't understand why transgender people get very upset if you call them by the wrong pronoun. I'm like, you were born the wrong gender, so obviously you get mistakes happen. I don't know. I'm glad we could all get together. I know it's been a couple of rough years for all of us. I do think, though, it's been the hardest on white women. Oh my God, everybody hates us so much. I'm like, I don't know why. We're being the most helpful. Like, anytime we see a black guy, we're like, hey, I'm gonna call the cops. They give you a ride home. Not all white women suck. It's usually the ones that are wearing scarves in the summer. Just getting upset by jokes that have nothing to do with them. We're like, why are you getting upset about this joke about Asians? Let Asian people get upset about that. Why try to take that from them also? I figured it out, though. We just have way too many white women right now, and nobody is checking us. And it's because we don't have any more serial killers. They were keeping down the white woman population. Whether you want to think about it like that or not, Ted Bundy was a hero. And how do we repay him? We locked him up for doing the Lord's work. Yeah, Ted Bundy was a family guy. He just wanted to hang out with his kids and read to them and hold his wife's face while they fucked, but he couldn't. He had to be out there every night just killing white women so that black people could be safe. And when you think of it like that, it does make you think that Martin Luther King was a lot of talk. No, obviously, I think they're both great. They're both great, you know. Let's be honest, you know, MLK wasn't out there killing white women, you know. He was too busy fucking them. What? He could have choked some of them out a little too hard. It's almost like he didn't care at all. I guess what I'm trying to say is Ted Bundy has done more for black people than Martin Luther King, and he should also have a holiday during Black History Month. All right, guys, that's all for me. Thank you so much.
I don't like.
I don't like when I was a teenager, I hated all that time. I hated being a teenager. And then I discovered drugs. And then that's all I gave a shit about. I don't know how I'm gonna tell my kids. How the fuck do you compete with that? How do you take a miserable person with no control over their lives and tell them with a straight face, oh, you can't do drugs. You can't do that, baby. All drugs are a perfect solution to every problem you have right now. How do you beat that? Drugs are so fucking good that they'll ruin your life. I mean, that's how good they are. I can't do drugs now because I'm 44, and I can't hook it up. I can't make that happen. If you're 44 and you want to get high, you got to hurt your back. That's pretty much the only option you have. Hurt your back, get some Percocet, and then you go, I'm gonna get a babysitter and take 3 at a diner. Like, just sad. I'm a little drowsy. Woo! I never really could have like I wish I was a drunk. Like that, I love romantically the idea of being a real drunk in my bathrobe all day. Everybody who loves me is always crying. He's destroying himself. I can't watch anymore. Shut up, then. Yeah. Showing up at my kid's school play halfway through. You show who you are, baby! I wish I could be that guy. But I can't drink because I just get tired. I go to sleep. I don't know how people drink and then do shit. Like when I see movies or TV shows where there's people in an office having a power meeting and they're clink, clink, they're making a drink in the daylight with a tie on. Well, Senator, hope you play ball with us in this construction deal, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, well, I'll see what's in it for me. How is the next scene not all those people just lying on the floor like, oh, fuck. I can't believe I drank whiskey at noon. I can't smoke pot because it's the same thing. I'm too old for it. Sometimes young people come up to me after shows. Hey, do you want to smoke some pot? I'm like, can I get my portion to smoke without you alone later? Because I don't want to stand in a parking lot with some 20-year-olds. Last time I got high, I was in Kansas City, and I got high because I was in Kansas City, and it was shitty. So after the show, so these kids that worked at the club, they're like, you want to smoke some pot? And I'm like, yes. So I'm standing in a parking lot with these kids, like 20 years old, and we're smoking a joint. And I'm taking huge hits because I had no idea. I didn't know they'd been working on this shit like it's the cure for cancer. I didn't understand the fucking technology that's gone into making pot so powerful. Because when I was a kid, you could just smoke a joint for a while. Now you take 2 hits and you go insane. It's not doable anymore. And I was taking big hits, like big 1970s jean jacket, Bad Company hits. Here come the jesters, 1, 2, 3. It's all part of my fantasy. And I'm like, yeah. And even the kid with the wooden hole of no ear, the absence of flesh in his ear with wood, I don't know what that is. Even he was like, "That you should be careful, that's a lot of pot. That's very strong marijuana." Yeah, I'm fine. Running with the devil! Just fucking, and in about 10 seconds, everything just and I'm like, oh shit. This is an ordeal now. I'm not gonna feel okay for a very long time. And everybody's just standing around and talking, and I'm hoping, like I'm really hoping that I look like this. But I'm pretty sure that I was just scanning insanely. I was actually counting, like, look at her for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch to him. 5, 4, 3, 2. Randomize. Don't go in the same direction. 5, 4, 3. Nod your head. That looks like you're listening if you nod your head. Ha ha ha. And at one point I realized I need to get out of here because the air is hitting my arm weirdly and they can tell. They totally know that I'm not handling the way air is touching my arm right now. Why am I doing that with my hand? That's weird to do that with your hand. Nobody stands like this. Nobody stands like this. Just fucking, no, that's that's weird too. That's crazy. Just, shit. I gotta go. But I didn't know how to leave because I had this dilemma. We're all standing in a perfect circle facing each other. And I thought it's gonna be insane if I just turn I'm one person with my back now. Do I just back away like this and hope that they fill in? And then I thought, no, say something. Say something out loud to them that smooths the transition of you leaving. Okay, what do I say? Pick a thing to say. Goodbye. That's a nightmare. That's just goodbye. That's just noises. Finally, I walked away and I said, I'm leaving! And I know it was that bad because they all went, oh, shit, okay, all right. Whoa. Like, I'll never see those people again as long as I live. And then I had to get in a car. I forgot that I had rented a car, and I have to drive back to the hotel. And I'm driving on this highway in Missouri. And at one point I realized, I think it's been about 25 minutes since I looked out the front window of this car. I've just been dealing with shit directly in. Oh, shit. There's a whole spectrum of responsibility out here. I'm supposed to take part in this. And then at one point, I remember I was at a drive-thru, and I was terrified because there's a lady sticking her head out a window, and she's mad. She's going, sir, sir. I just kept saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. I had the window closed. I had no fucking idea. What part of the transaction did I pay yet? Have I ordered? Have I been sitting here for 40 minutes just eating at the window and I ate the paper and everything? Only because I don't want to lose my memory, you know? I mean, some of it I would love to lose. But it doesn't work that way. You gotta take it all or none, I guess. But I forget things, you know? Like, remember Fonzie from Happy Days? I don't remember him. I don't even know what you're talking about. I forget weird things, you know? Like, I was walking down the street once in New York, and there was a guy in a van, and he rolled down the window, and he said, hey, get in the van and suck my dick. And I said, all right, you know? So I got in the van, and, you know, I was trying to pull the sliding door, but it kept, and he's like, it just shuts, you don't have to. I was like, sorry. He's like, everybody does that, it's okay. So I'm kneeling on the floor of the van on like a purse, and there's no lady in there, but I'm like, I came here to suck this guy's dick, not like take inventory. Let's just get to work. So I start sucking his dick, and about halfway through, I'm guessing, I remembered that I don't really like doing that. So, senior moment. Let me ask you a question. You ever wonder how many people ever fucked your mom? We're almost done. You're doing great. This is important to me. You ever look at your mom and go like, Mom, how many dicks? Just how many? I lost my mom, so those are the things I don't know, so I'm curious. I don't feel like a lot of dudes fucked my mom. Not because she's like pure, because I don't think so. But I hope it was as many as she wanted. That's what I hope. I hope she got all the dicks she ever dreamed of, because I loved her. I hope at the end my mom was like, that was plenty of dicks.
But I'll never know. Because you don't know your mom. That's the truth. You don't really know your mother. You feel like you know her, but you know what she told you. She didn't tell you shit. You don't tell your kids your life. What did your mother tell you? I won a swimming medal when I was 12. She didn't tell you, like, I used to fuck this guy at work. It was amazing. She didn't tell you that. Think about your mom's life story as she told it to you. There's huge holes in that story. Like, well, I graduated when I was 22, and then I met your father when I was 35. Feels like a lot of dicks would fit right in there, Mom. You know those movies where a mother and a daughter switch bodies? You ever seen a movie like this? It's always like Freaky Friday, some Disney comedy where a mother and a daughter switch bodies, and then they're like, whoa! Then they have to water ski and be in a rock band together. And then they switch back and they know each other better. That's the formula. I think they should make another one of those movies. But it should be about a mother who switches bodies with her son. But it's not a comedy, it's a drama. Like a medical affliction. They're upset the whole time. She's in the bathroom in the morning. I'm holding my son's penis. It's confusing. And her son is in her body. He's like, I don't want to be my mommy anymore. I don't like how it feels. And his dad comes home and he starts fucking on me. Oh, God. What's happening now? I don't like this. But I don't want to say no to my dad. And then at the end of the movie, they never switch back. This is a story that takes place. I'm going to tell you the story. It's kind of a messy story. It takes place over a lot of years because it started with my friend Mike, who told me this story. This happened to him back in the 90s. He was going home for Christmas, and he lives in Connecticut. He grew up in Connecticut in some shitty shit town in shitty Connecticut. And he didn't like going home. He's one of those people, he came from a place, doesn't like it anymore. And he goes back, he doesn't know how to handle his family, you know? And he came from a family of white racists, and he doesn't like going home, but it's still home. So he went home for Christmas one year, and everybody's hanging out during the day, talking, having lunch, and his father and his brother both work at this factory, and his brother's grousing about his day at work, and he goes, yeah, and then this fucking nigger fell asleep with the forklift. And then my friend Mike heard that, and he went, oh, God, why am I part of this people? I hate this. And he felt bad. And then that night, he's in the kitchen, and he's having a warm milk or whatever. And I don't know why that's funny, but what that says about him. Yeah, because he's a pussy. No. He's just sort of having some time to himself, and his cousin comes downstairs. We're staying, and his cousin, he likes his cousin. That's the one person he always felt connected with. And his cousin's like, what's wrong, man? And he says, well, geez, I come home, and I hoped that everything would be, normal, but then my brother says, oh, he's about the factory, and this nigger fell asleep with the forklift. And his cousin goes, oh my God, the nigger fell asleep with the forklift? So this is the first part of the story, okay? So Mike tells me that story about how he's just not listened to by anybody in his family. And then later on, I get a job writing on a TV show for Cedric the Entertainer. Great guy. And he had a show, and he hired a writing staff, half white writers, half black writers. So at lunchtime, we talk about race. It was just, we'd have these provocative, interesting conversations, trading notes about race, with the white writers and the black writers. And I told that story. I told the whole thing about the guy, nigger, the forklift, and then the cousin saying, well, the nigger, the forklift. And then one of the writers, a black writer, he goes, there's nothing worse than a nigger falling asleep with the forklift. Making it harder